Most people don't realize how much their personal information is being bought and sold every day. Data brokers are making billions, pulling details about you from public records and the internet, and then packaging and selling it, usually without your consent. That's how your information lands in the hands of scammers, spammers, even stalkers. It's why you get endless robocalls and why ads seem to follow you everywhere. That's where Aura comes in. Aura actively removes your data from broker sites and keeps it off. They also instantly alert you if your information shows up in a breach or on the dark web. But Aura goes beyond data protection. With one app, you get a VPN, antivirus, password manager, spam call protection, dark web monitoring, and even up to $5 million in identity theft insurance. All backed by 24/7 US-based fraud support. Other companies might sell just credit monitoring or just a VPN. Aura gives you all of it, together, at the same price competitors charge for just one service. Start your free trial today at aura.com/remove. Protect yourself now at aura.com/remove.
It's in our blood, it's in our bones, orange and brown, yeah, we ride for our own like a dog pack running. We ain't alone, game day comes, get ready for the show. It's our call, it's our bark, it's our song. We stand tall, yeah, we've been here all along. Through it all, the dog pound standing strong. We all dogs, yeah, we all dogs. Welcome to the Dogs Podcast with your hosts, Blake Reniker, Justin Shawls, Kenny Mack, and Josh Hall. We all dogs!
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Dogs Podcast. Josh Hall and Kenny Mack with you guys again today.
You're right, man. I want a mic to bark into or something, but I'm out in Lake Mary meeting in New Hampshire, so I am going about as bare bones as I can right now, out in the nice, beautiful lake, so you guys can see it right there. We're having a really good time, and the next couple of days will be relaxing after we get to talk about some brownies.
Brother, you don't need a microphone to bark. Bark into nature. Bark into nature, baby. For everybody. There we go. Love it. All right, so we got Kenny on location, and I will be helping out today. We're going to go through some training camp notes from the first day yesterday. Interesting stuff. Obviously, we finally got the Browns on the field doing football stuff, so there's definitely things worth talking about. This is whenever, rubber's hitting the road, baby. It's time to separate from, the competition and figure out who's going to end up making this 53-man roster, which we will spend the second half of the episode or so talking about our predictions for the Browns' initial 53-man roster at the end of training camp. So yep, we'll talk about that. So if you guys want to kind of play along in the comments as you're watching, let us know who you think will make the roster at each position as we go through it. But first, it's kind of like we're getting the last call here. If you want to play fantasy football, jointhedogs.com. Get in now. I'm not going to go through a huge spiel here. Time's running out. If you want to play fantasy football, go there, sign up, get into the Patreon, submit a registration. You're good to go. If you don't want to play fantasy, no big deal. But again, you also get access to the private Discord community, 24/7 online diehard Browns fan community. It's awesome. If you're looking for other fans in your location around you to maybe meet up with, watch games with, because you don't have anybody. There have been some great friendships formed in the dog pack and connections made, all kinds of stuff. So jointhedogs.com. Kenny, why don't we start with the big news from yesterday? We alluded to it, or at least asked the question on Tuesday night's live show after the Browns signed Denzel Ward to an extension. We said, is Grant Delpit next? Because that's the other guy that a lot of people were speculating after we traded Myles Garrett. Is this a fire sale? Is this team ditching all their veterans, trying to get as many picks as possible? Well, we lock up and extend Denzel Ward. And we said that extension for Grant Delpit has got to be coming soon. So he showed up to training camp first day yesterday on Wednesday and had a little hold-in for, 15 minutes. Andrew Berry comes out on the practice field and lets him know, hey, you can go suit up. Your extension is done. So Grant Delpit signs a 3-year extension worth, $48 million, $16 million per year to stay with the Browns in that secondary. And I thought that was a huge signing for the team. What are your thoughts on the Grant Delpit signing.
It's kind of like we were saying last time. I mean, to have Denzel Ward number one, that thing figured out. Now they have some options to move that money where they need to move to make other signings, and that signing happened yesterday with Grant Delpit. He is going to be the leader of that safety room. He's been somebody who's created turnovers. He was probably primarily the reason why we beat the Packers last year with that interception. And he is a linchpin for the defense because we are running a 3 safety system. We need all the safeties that we possibly can to run that. And that just legitimizes how important he is to this defense.
Absolutely. And that now moves Grant Delpit into the top 10 highest paid safeties in the NFL. So good for him. Like you said, absolute crucial component to the Browns, not just their secondary, but to their entire defense, because this is a guy who can play anywhere, in that secondary. If you want to put him back deep, he can play there. If you want to put him up in the box, he can play there. Like, Grant Delpit is super versatile, and he plays at a high level no matter where you put him.
Yeah, versatility is a key, and that's what the Browns are playing for. And I'm glad that you mentioned that. I don't think he'll be more of a strong safety. I think Hitman will be the free safety, and then I'll use this term loosely, rover back. Emmanuel McNeil-Warren will be kind of all over the place, nickel, and he'll be that third safety that can kind of disguise the defense. But if you can use Delpit, if you can use Emmanuel McNeil-Warren interchangeably, there's more for them to do on defense. And by more, I mean more disguising.
Yes. And honestly, to kind of go like the reverse a little bit of what you're saying there, and I'm not saying like this is how it's going to be, but I could see a situation where the rookie EMW, maybe he is a little more better suited in the box right away. Maybe that's where his strength is. So then you can use Grant Delpit interchangeably as your go-between guy. Wherever you need that safety to be on the field, he can play that role. If a guy like EMW, it's like, okay, this guy, maybe he's not ready to be that. Maybe he's more of he's better in the box. So let's keep him there. We'll move Delpit all over the field. At least they have options, with the safety position.
Yeah, Delpit's got that money now. He's got to make the money making plays. So make those.
Wow, and I think he will. Let me pull it up real quick because I'm telling you, his numbers, we don't talk about. We spend a lot of time, obviously, just as Browns fans in general, talking about the offensive guys and stats and things like that. But if you go and you look at Grant Delpit, I mean, this is a guy, he's had over 100 tackles now twice in 5 seasons with the Browns. Last year, he had 89 tackles, 4 tackle for loss, 3 sacks. That was a career high last season with the Browns. And interceptions, like you said, the 1 last year, he did have 4, was a career high for a season back in 2022. I mean, he's a tackling machine. He doesn't miss a lot of games. This is a good one for the Browns. Very happy they got this done.
Yeah, no, we said that this was going to happen. Like, we didn't question it. We're like, it's just a matter of time and when it was going to happen. And they did it immediately. They got to get this defense down if Rutenberg's going to change a couple things up. Get these guys together as many times as possible in training camp.
Yes, absolutely. So good for the Browns getting Ward and Delpit under contract, ready to go before. And Andrew Berry does a really good job of this historically, of not letting hold-in contract extension situations linger into training camp, preseason, or into the season. You see some other teams where it's like they just don't get these deals done. Then guys request trades or they hold in. They're not at practice for the first 2 weeks of training camp, and then they show up before the season and then they're out of shape, whatever. The Browns do not let that happen. And I admire Andrew Berry for getting these things done.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more.
So let's move into the rest of some training camp news and notes from yesterday. I put out a quick reel video yesterday kind of going through these notes, but we'll go through them again here for you guys who didn't catch that and maybe expand a little bit more on some of this stuff. And I want to start with the quarterback conversation because obviously that's the biggest one going on for all of training camp.
Who doesn't, man? Who doesn't want to start with that, right?
Right. So we're just going to do it for you guys. We're starting with the quarterback situation. And I just got to, Deshaun Watson sucks. I don't know what else we need to see as a team, as a fan base. The guy was cooked in 2024, mentally, physically, athletically. He looks slow. He can't play the position anymore. The arm is shot Ever since the broken glenoid bone, he had the surgery to repair that. He can't throw the football. Zach Jackson yesterday posting that, to open the first day of training camp, Deshaun Watson, that yesterday was his day with the first team. And he said it was a series of misses, floaters, overthrows, and interceptions. He had back-to-back picks. The first one to Denzel Ward, which was a very nice interception by Ward. And then the second one, the very next play, to the cornerback we just signed like a week or two ago, Damari Mathis. Yeah. And so Todd Monken was asked about those back-to-back picks, and he said, listen, the first one was a great play by Ward. I was standing behind the play. I would have thrown the same pass. Deshaun made the right read, all this stuff, whatever. And then he did say about the second one, he needs to drive that ball better or something. That one was definitely on him. And then Mary Kay Cabot posted another video, which she had such a I don't know if you saw it, such a misleading headline on this caption. No, she said, Deshaun Watson deep pass to Jerry Jeudy, this is a highlight throw. And then you watch the video, the ball's 10 yards underthrown, and Jeudy jumps up in between two defenders to try to catch this pass. And it was during the session when the DBs were instructed not to make a play on the ball, let the receiver catch it at the end. There was a session like that.
Yeah, I saw it from Carmen Justice. I didn't understand what was going on because the DBs looked like they were just falling down.
Yeah.
There was no context behind the throw. I didn't know. Okay, that makes a lot of sense now.
Yeah, they were just supposed to cover, but then at the end of the play, don't make a play on the ball. Just let them, because receivers got to practice catching too. So
absolutely,
that would have been the third interception of the day at minimum.
Yeah,
he sucks. He's bad. He's bad. He doesn't need to be here. You guys know how I feel about it, but good Lord, it was.
Yeah, again, there's this false narrative out there about him looking good. And I think what it is if you hear anybody that's a beat writer in Cleveland, he does physically look better, but somehow that's translated into he looks better on the football field. If you listen to Zach Jackson, he's the guy that says, and he's the only one that puts out there he knows XYZ play and it needs to go to X, but he's going to Y. And nobody else explains that. And it just seems to be this reoccurring theme that while he looks good and faster, physically better, he's not football better. He's not making the right decisions in camp. So we can't translate this forward to the season. And I'm sure this will ultimately weed itself out in the preseason.
I think so too. I just cannot fathom a world where this team says we want to put the best players on the field to try to win football games, and they got Deshaun Watson under center. It makes no sense to me at all. So you want to put the guy out there that the team believes in, that the team, both offense and defense, says this guy gives us the best chance to win. Let's go freaking fight. That's definitely Shedeur Sanders, who, by the way, had a good practice yesterday. Even Tony Grossi put it out there that, yes, Shedeur Sanders had a good day. So there are some of these media people out there saying Browns quarterback struggled on day one. Not true. They're trying to make it sound like this is still an even competition, and I don't know why they're trying to mislead people. Deshaun sucked, bad day. Shedeur, good day. Dylan Gabriel, not great. He also threw an interception. Michael Coates Jr., by the way, the cornerback UDFA that we're hoping can step up and provide us some depth. But there was a route, and I don't know if this was like a 7-on-7 drill or what they were doing, but Casey Concepcion just juked his defender out of his shorts and just right down the sideline. Shedeur just dropped it in the bucket. Beautiful pass, beautiful play. So there was that. Denzel Boston was making some big plays. And the interesting note from Zach Jackson, those two rookie wide receivers spent the day working with the second team. That was Shedeur's unit. Spencer Fano, our rookie left tackle, spent the day with the second team. So the guys that we are anticipating being starters for this team are working with Shedeur Sanders. And then Todd Monken said, yes, we are going to alternate days. Day 2 will be Shedeur Sanders with the first team. And then he also said Spencer Fano and the rookie receivers will be with the first team on day 2. So those guys are moving back and forth right now with Shedeur.
Okay, that's good. I didn't know if that was going to be a thing or not. And, I like the fact that you're talking about Deshaun earlier, because, one thing about the rookies that you just mentioned now is Moncton keeps saying, like, the rookies got to earn it. He's just not going to give it to them. Well, guess what, boys and girls? Deshaun Watson's got to earn it too. And with 2 interceptions, he hasn't earned anything yet. He hasn't played for a year and a half, and he hasn't looked good. He doesn't know what he's reading on the defense from what I can see. And that might be just my opinion, but he does not know where to go with the ball. A lot of this training camp early is probably going to be what we stated earlier about getting the receivers and the quarterbacks on the same page and catching the ball, but they're still really implementing the full offense now. So I expect somebody to separate at some point.
Oh, 100%. And I expect it to happen sooner rather than later, because Deshaun's not cut out for this anymore, guys. Like, he can't do it. But I know we were in the Discord the other day. Some people were kind of lamenting that, it's just another check down session. There aren't really any of these deep, big explosive plays down the field. Well, then Todd Monken, I think it was after practice, maybe it was before, I can't remember, said that the first session yesterday was all about working on the intermediate, short, and check down throws. Like, that's what the passing game was focusing on yesterday. So we do need to understand that there is a lot of context behind training camp stuff that we don't know. We're not privy to all this information. If he says it, then we know it. But if he doesn't say that, we don't really know what the whole point of a session was. If the quarterbacks are working on specific things, the receivers are running specific. So it's good to know that, hey, there may not have been a lot of these big deep down the field throws yesterday, but that's because it was by design more than, a result of a poor offensive system.
I also did he also mention this? I could have missed it, but I thought it was something along the lines of these checkdowns intermediates were also to help the defense. So it's just not a glorified passing drill to start off. Like, they want sit your ass down tackling to happen on the field. And I thought that was part of the reason they had that type of play calling yesterday as well.
That's true too, because, we always look at it from an offensive perspective of, the offense is trying to run these plays, but the defense is also trying to practice and learn different, specific situations and how to defend things as well. So There's just a lot of context to these practices. But so that's kind of the quarterback wrap up from the first day. Obviously, they put out the QB tracker. You guys can go check that out on any social media. And for me, it's just there's so much context that doesn't get explained with the QB tracker, but it at least gives you an idea of what kind of rate are these quarterbacks completing their passes? Are they throwing interceptions? Again, like a lot of that is subjective because they had 0 touchdown passes recorded for the quarterbacks yesterday. I don't know what the drill was when Shedeur threw the touchdown to KC. I don't know.
That's where did we get any goal line drills whatsoever yesterday? Did we have any red zone drills yesterday?
I think so.
If you're practicing intermediate and dump offs and small routes, maybe it's just let's get some tackling in, let's get some catches in, let's just get some basic football down so we can move the football down the field. That's what it seemed to me.
Yeah, and on a day where it's let's just get basic football stuff under our belt and get moving. Not for Deshaun to suck already. Like, wait till the Pats come on. This episode is sponsored by Kalshi. All right, Browns fans, we've all messed around with the sports books before, right? And let's be honest, you're always kind of playing against the house. But with Kalshi, it's different. You're not betting against some sports book. You're trading against other real-world people. There's no house trying to beat you. Kalshi just runs the marketplace. So if you think the public is wrong and the Browns can make the playoffs in Todd Monken's first year, or Casey Concepcion, Denzel Boston, one of those guys can win Offensive Rookie of the Year, you can take the other side of the market, and then if you're right, that's a big payout for you. And it's not just sports either. You can trade on other real world stuff, interest rates, inflation, even wild weather outcomes. It works like this: simple yes or no markets, your risk is capped up front, and your payout is locked in. So if you trust your takes and instincts, and I know you guys do, go check out Kalshi and see what markets are live right now. So use our link in the description or just head over to kalshi.com/dogs, KALSHI.com/dogs, DAWGS, to earn up to $500 when you trade 25. Kalshi, because why shouldn't you guys get paid for being right? This episode is sponsored by Trollco. Browns fans, there's a phrase that has been used around the blue-collar world forever: dirty hands, clean money. The idea that you show up, you put in the work, and you build your ideal life because of it. Sound familiar? That is Browns country. And Trollco is a clothing brand built around that very belief. Two guys who worked the oil patch looked around and could not find a single brand that represented people like them. So they started making workwear, tees, hoodies, and hats all by themselves. You know, gear for the person who works hard all week and still brings that same energy to the tailgate on Sundays. And I know I'm talking Cleveland in general, but Northeast Ohio is that blue-collar, work hard, earn what you have area. Whether it's you or somebody you know, a family member, your dad, your brother, uncle, whatever the case may be, you guys know what that dirty hands, clean money phrase truly means. So check out what they have to offer. Head to trollco.com/dogs. That's TROLLCO.com/dogs, DAWGS, and use code DOGS25 for 25% off your first order.
Most people don't realize how much their personal information is being bought and sold every day. Data brokers are making billions pulling details about you from public records and the internet, and then packaging and selling it, usually without your consent. That's how your information lands in the hands of scammers, spammers, even stalkers. It's why you get endless robocalls and why ads seem to follow you everywhere. That's where Aura comes in. Aura actively removes your data from broker sites and keeps it off. They also instantly alert you if your information shows up in a breach or on the dark web. But Aura goes beyond data protection. With one app, you get a VPN, antivirus, password manager, spam call protection, dark web monitoring, and even up to $5 million in identity theft insurance. All backed by 24/7 US-based fraud support. Other companies might sell just credit monitoring or just a VPN. Aura gives you all of it, together, at the same price competitors charge for just one service. Start your free trial today at aura.com/remove. Protect yourself now at aura.com/remove.
Yeah. Oh man.
All right.
Yeah, that's rough.
I'm gonna stop just bashing on Deshaun Watson here for a minute. Okay, so a couple other notes. Let's just move to some other positions. For the first team defense, they had listed Mike Hall Jr. Obviously, Malik Collins is not there. He's out. Yep. It's Mason Graham, and we hope some people step up. So Mike Hall, obviously, on that first team D-line with Mason Graham. And then for the linebackers, obviously you got Carson, Quincy Williams. But with the first team also was Easton Mascarenas Arnold, who was a UDFA last season. I don't know how many people are familiar with him. He played a little bit last year, but he was running with the first team. And then the first rotational defensive back to come in with the first team was Daniel Thomas, who we signed this offseason.
That makes sense.
Yep.
And
so I think
you want him to get reps because you want him on the team. You need him as a special teams gunner.
You nailed it. Absolutely. Yeah. Okay, so offensive line, interesting stuff here. We already talked about how Spencer Fano was with the second team. It was DeJuan Jones yesterday with the first team offensive line at left tackle. They had Elton Jenkins at the center and Tevin Jenkins at right guard. Now, by the time you guys watch or listen to this, today's training camp might already be over. I'm predicting, because Parker Brailsford was the second team center yesterday with Logan Fano, Shedeur, those guys. I wouldn't be surprised if they give Parker Brailsford the first team reps at center today and move Elton Jenkins to right guard.
Yeah, it'd be a perfect time to do that. Let's see what he can do with minimal pressure. And if he gets the offensive line in the right reads and doing the right thing, and that's perfect for me. Like, I hope that happens.
Me too. And maybe it doesn't. Maybe they stick with the same offensive lineup other than the left tackle. But I've got a feeling they want to intermix Brailsford more just to give him more opportunity to prove that he can be that guy. So we'll see how that goes today. This note was interesting. Third team wide receiver Cedric Tillman.
Yeah, that's a kiss of death, man.
not good. Not good, man. You're talking about a fourth year. First of all, you got the two rookies, right? So you got KC, you got Boston, who we know will be starters for this offense running with the second team. And people were asking me on social media, well, who was with the first team then? Who was with Deshaun? It was Jerry Jeudy, Isaiah Bond, and I think it was Jamari Thrash were the main guys.
Interesting.
Cedric Tillman's the fourth year guy. He was like the first team wide receiver a year ago, and now he is with the third team. I do not think Cedric Tillman is long for this roster, which will get interesting when we go to our roster predictions here in a minute. But what do you think about that one?
Yeah, no, I mean, he's where he needs to be based on the amount he's played and the type of production that he's put up forth in the last 3 years. And he's got a big hole he's got to bury himself out of. He's got the body. I'm sure he's got the skills. And he has the separation rate, I believe. And those are what he has in his favor. It's just no production, can't be on the field. Your third string for now. What can you do to get out of it?
Yeah, well, that separation rate you're talking about too, I think, is that like what the bearded Browns were posting around?
Against man, yes. Yeah, I believe so.
I thought it was against like specifically press or something.
Yes, that's what it was.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Which, again, defenses are running zone on 70% of their snaps. So if you can't separate against zone, you're probably not going to play much in the NFL. I don't really care what you do. I mean, obviously, I care what you can do against man coverage.
Yeah.
But zone is going to drive your opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely. And you got to run that whole tree too, man. You got to run that whole tree.
Yes, or at least half of it. Like you can't just be a one or two route type savant.
Absolutely. And that's what Moncton's looking for. And that's another reason why he's probably third string.
Yes, and shout out to Isaiah Bond for really working on expanding his route tree. I talked to Cam White last week about that, and he said, listen, I mean, Isaiah Bond, he'll be a guy this year. He's not going to be the primary guy, but you're going to see him run more than just the 9 route. And I said,
hey, man, 10 pounds of extra muscle, that's accomplishment. That'll really help your game. Kudos to him for working on that as well. A small thing about your interview with Cam White. Did you guys mention Corley at all in that one? Because I listened to it. I don't recall that.
I don't think we brought him up.
Okay.
But we'll talk about him here in a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So couple injury things. We don't know the severity. So Damari Mathis, who had that interception against Deshaun, was seen heading inside with a trainer. And then this one really, I mean, that one sucks because we're short on depth at corner, and then we're also very short on depth at DT. Defensive tackle Kalia Davis left practice with the trainer. Again, don't know the severity of any of these things. But those are two guys we really can't afford to be without right now.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't know what it is about when you get into training camp and the first injuries always seem to be the injuries of that position unit the entire year. I don't know what it is. And those are the two that we can't afford at this point. Hopefully, knock on wood, that's not going to be a thing, but you don't want the least amount of depth pieces to get injured. And that's what we've seen on day one.
Yes, unfortunately. But at least it wasn't like major injuries. We haven't been told about anything. It wasn't like key starters. So let's just, and there were guys on we've seen it already. The headlines popping up from training camp, other teams losing players already to big injuries. Like, let's just, again, keep saying your prayers to the football gods out there, everybody. Keep this Browns team as healthy as possible. All right.
Yeah.
A couple more things here. The only player to miss practice was Malik Collins. Outside of him, it was Joe Royer, the rookie tight end. That was a personal reason. It was not injury related, so he should be back at some point here. Okay, and that's pretty much all of my training camp notes other than one last interesting piece of news I want to talk to you about real quick. Was there anything else from training camp, though, that you had that I didn't mention?
No, dude, you hit everything. That was fantastic.
Okay, well, I appreciate it, Kenny. Man, thank you so much. Okay, so this one was very interesting yesterday. We kind of talked about it, and there was some speculation, I don't know, maybe like a month or two ago, about the Browns potentially having a reunion with edge rusher Jadeveon Clowney. First day of training camp, Jadeveon Clowney is in Berea in the Browns building for a meeting discussing a potential signing. Nothing has come out yet. He hasn't signed. I think there's I forget what team it was. Another team is also courting him. What do you think about Jadeveon Clowney coming back here, though?
Yeah, Jadeveon, the mercenary man, always out there trying to get in something and more money for his services. Hey, listen, the guy can get sacks and he can hold the end of the line of scrimmage. And those are two things I like about him. If I take a look at our defensive ends right now, I like Alex Wright. I like Isaiah McGuire. And of course, I love Jared Verse. After that, I'm kind of scratching my head. It's another one of these things where like one injury away and we're not very deep at all. Are there some guys that can help us out, like Logan Thano, Tariq Sapp? They're more development at this point. So to have a veteran presence on the defensive line, I think, we need at least 2 to 3 more veterans through the team, if not 4. He could definitely be someone that could come in, step in, and start if he had to. On the flip side, Mary Kay, if you can just stay away from Jadeveon, if we see him, don't lead him into any stories, get him suspended, or however that went down. But the whole narrative about the Browns setting up Miles to go to the Hall of Fame, I don't know how that kind of works out with the Browns, but if they're talking to him, maybe it was made more a story than it really was, or they kind of kissed and made up, and we need defensive depth. Who knows?
I'm with. Well, and it's not just the fact that the Browns had him back in the building for a visit; it's the fact that he came back.
Yeah,
if there was bad blood between him and the team, if he had ill will, how things went, because the Browns, remember, they sent him home. They basically just said, you're not coming back for the finale that season. I think it was 2022. He didn't play in the season finale, and they cut him after that. It was gone. So he hit free agency because of those comments about, the team seems a little, I forget exactly what he said, something about they seem more focused on getting Myles Garrett into the Hall of Fame than actually trying to win football games. God forbid I outproduce anybody or something to that extent.
That's right.
You really can't say that stuff to the media, even if that is how you feel. And expect not to get disciplined by the team. But like you said, it seemed like maybe it's water under the bridge for both sides because. Yeah.
And him coming is maybe him just saying that, hey, yeah, you know what? I ran my mouth. I'm not saying I deserve what I got, but we dealt with it. Let's move forward.
Yeah. And, by the way, you finally got rid of Myles Garrett. I'll come back. I don't know, but that's kind of what it feels like. Like, oh, he's not there anymore? Yeah, I'll come play for you guys again. That's cool. I don't know. But, again, he played for the Cowboys last year, 8.5 sacks at 32 years old. He's not going to be an insane sack production guy. He's going to get some sacks for you. And like you said, very good edge defender against the run. So
hold that edge.
I'd be okay with them doing it because we need help there. We really do.
Defensive depth is key. Yep, defensive depth is key.
All right, so we had a little technical difficulty there. I lost Kenny's audio on my soundboard, so whatever we were just talking about, that was the final thought on Jadeveon Clowney. But
that's right.
So let us know what you guys think in the comments. Do you want the Browns to bring in Jadeveon Clowney or not? And if not, they got to get somebody in here. They really do. They got to get a veteran edge presence outside of the 3 guys they have. Because outside of that, like you said, the depth is bad. But let's move over here to our discussion on the initial 53-man roster. So we'll go position by position again. Follow along in the comments if you guys want to and let us know your thoughts. We'll try not to do this super long, but basically just want to hit each position, talk about who the final guys will be, and it's got to come down, obviously, to 53 players. Kenny, let's just start at the quarterback spot. We'll go offense, then we'll go defense and special teams. Who are the quarterbacks on your 53-man predictions?
Yeah, the quarterbacks, I think this is going to be pretty good between you and I. I mean, ultimately, if you take a look at the film in the last little bit, I need to see more out of Shedeur Sanders. I like what he did with as little as he had. And if I just quick pull it up, I mean, a lot of people want to say like, hey, you know what, Shedeur, he didn't deserve the last 2 wins. Like, listen, it's a team game. You win as a team. But the offensive line that he had to deal with at the end of the year, I mean, like, get a load of this. While he had Joel Bitonio, he had 2 of the worst tackles in the league, which was Livingston and Robinson. And Tevin Jenkins was okay, but you got to remember in that last game, He had to end that game with Zach Zinter at center. I just want to see them put this offensive line together, and I want to see Shedeur Sanders start, be the number one quarterback. I don't need to see any more of Deshaun, but his salary is going to indicate that he is going to be on the team. He's my number 2. And then number 3 is going to be Taylon Green. I don't need to see more of Gabriel. And the biggest thing with him is I think he just needs a new place to go. I have no ill will against him. I think maybe he can play, be a good backup quarterback. It's not going to be here. He was chosen by a different, I'll say, regime. We'll use that lightly. And Stefanski. And he just needs a new place to go, and it'd be good for him, I think.
Yeah, and don't forget, before Zach Zinter was the center for Shedeur Sanders, it was Luke Whippler because Ethan Posick tore his ACL. So
yes,
Luke Whippler, he must be with the third team at camp right now because it was Jenkins with the ones, Brailsford with it. So Whippler's already passed up at the center spot. So that's who you were working with last year as a rookie. Okay, so quarterback for me, exact same as you, Shedeur Sanders, Deshaun Watson, Taylon Green. Those are the 3 guys that the Browns roll into the season with, in my opinion. Dylan Gabriel is either going to get traded or he's just going to get waived and somebody will claim him. And if they don't, then he goes to the practice squad. But I know a lot of people say, well, just move Green to the practice squad. That
doesn't work that way.
Happen. Or I shouldn't say that. It won't happen because here's how it works to get players to the practice squad. Correct me if I'm wrong about any of this, Kenny, but in a nutshell, at the end of preseason, you have roster cut downs. People you designate that you waive from the roster to cut it down. They go to waivers where they can then be claimed by any other team in the NFL. The only way they get to your practice squad is if they clear waivers. That means nobody else claims them, and then you can sign them to your practice squad. A guy like Taylon Green would very likely be claimed by another team.
Yep, that's right.
Okay.
With his athletic, like his RAS score, it is unbelievable, and somebody else will definitely take a chance on developing him. 100%.
Yes, agreed. All right, so that's your quarterback position. So we each have the Browns rolling with 3 QBs.
That's right.
Let's move to the running back position. Kenny, who do you got?
That's right. And I just had a bunch of stuff here. Just bear with me. I got to find my. All right. So running backs, I will have, as soon as I can find it. There we go. Obviously, Quinshon Judkins, he's number 1. He is going to be our workhorse. At number 2, I want to see more out of Dalen Simpson, man. Like, I'm excited for what Monken can do with him. He's going to be our change-up back, or he's going to be our receiving back. And I think we can get some big plays out of him. He's on a rookie deal. He's going to work out in that outside zone system as well. I think he can be a kick returner also. I am going to keep 4 running backs, guys. I still was a big Rocket Sanders guy. He has an immense amount of talent. I think he can give us some kickoff support too, even though I don't know if that's something he really did. And it's going to make me force out Michael Burton, the fullback. I only really see that guy getting maybe 10% of the snaps. I think Jack Stoll can do that later, and I'm giving away my tight end room right now. But, guys, I've been on this show for the last little bit. I've been very high on Marshall. I'm not going to take that back yet. I think he can run. I think he can block. I think he's a good goal line runner. I think he'd be a better goal line runner, actually, than Raheem Sanders. I just think Sanders is just more explosive. The other thing is I just keep hearing, I can't find this anywhere on paper, but every time I hear a program, I hear how well this guy catches the ball in the backfield. Those are all things and great value for like a 4th, maybe 3rd-ish type running back. And what I'm getting at is receiving the ball well. He can pass block well. If he can play fullback a little bit, that's a development piece. But he's a goal line runner. I think that's all great. So those are going to be my 4 guys. I don't know if Josh is going to go with 4, but you tell me what you got for running back, man.
I am going to go with 4, but it's a little different situation than you just laid out. And I did this a couple days ago. I went and I looked at the initial 53-man roster coming out of camp for the Baltimore Ravens the last 3 seasons under Todd Monken on offense. And all 3 seasons, they kept 6 wide receivers,
Okay.
1 fullback, and 3 tight ends. So I kind of use that as my template for what I can anticipate the Browns doing here. Now, it doesn't mean that's exactly what they're going to do, but that's 3 years in a row that's what they did with Todd Monken there running the offense. So for my running backs, I kept 4. Obviously, Quinshon Judkins, Dylan Sampson, Raheem Sanders, and my 4th, I just tied into the running back, is the fullback, and I'm keeping Michael Burton. I think that's my prediction, that they'll keep Michael Burton.
Yeah, I mean, he is a core special teamers. He does add value that way. I just figured, excuse me, that Jack Stoll could do something similar that he can. And that's why I went that route. Also, I've just been really praising Marshall lately. Dude. And I don't want to go back on it at this point yet. From what I've
roll with your guy, you've got a gut feel. Yeah. Kenny, if you guys have missed episodes, Kenny Mack has a strong gut feeling about Amani Marshall, and I know a lot of you guys do too. I see it in the comments. People are like, "What about Marshall? Is that number 23? That guy looks good."
Yeah.
So I mean, you're not off base to think that Amani Marshall can make this roster.
For me, but it's like you said, it's more of a position type thing. I did do the Baltimore Ravens thing. That's why I was kind of chuckling when you said that. I looked at the roster, and that's why 100% I get. That's why it's hard for me based on history to kind of make that switch. But it is the 4th string running back, so this isn't going to team changing things at this point, or a team changing position. But it is something worth noting.
Yeah. Okay, so there's our running back predictions. Let's go to wide receiver.
Yeah, wide receiver is for me. I'm going to just pull up my notes on that. I mean, obviously, if you take a look at what we have, I mean, we got a ton of receivers in camp. And for the back end of it, I think you guys all know the front end and how it's going to go. I think the back end of it, you're going to have to really show on special teams, and you're going to have to be a big time blocker, right? But my first 3, I'm going to go Boston, Judy, and Concepcion. And then my next 3 is going to be Taylor Wallace, because I think he provides great value as a special teamer, but he seems to flash here and there. Like, he's steady Eddie, and his run blocking is very valued. He's got high grades from the Baltimore Ravens. And then obviously Isaiah Bond, right? I'm going to go with a guy that's a bigger guy. Cedric Tillman's on the 3rd team right now. I'm going to go with Corley. I think he flashed a little bit last year. I want to see what he can do in the preseason behind an offensive line and maybe better quarterbacking. I thought he would have got maybe more balls his way had we been a better offense. But he's somebody that I think can also have value on special teams. All the other guys between Thrash, Larvadane, Floria, Wilson, Anderson, a lot of those guys can flash on special teams, and that could push them up into the top 6. But those are my 6 guys right now. So that's Boston, Judy, Concepcion, Corley, Wallace, and Bond.
All right, well, let's just move to tight ends, because we have the exact same 6 wide receivers in our predictions. So no need to repeat anything you just said, because I have the same 6 guys. So let's go to tight end. Who do you got there?
Yeah, again, taking a look at what the Baltimore Ravens did, you want to look at what their combination of Likely, Kohler, and Mark Andrews was, right? And I kind of see that as Fannin, Royer, and I'm going to say Jack Stoll for now, because I think he's the guy that can block. Blake Whitehart's like kind of an oddity for me. He's going to be like the 4th tight end, and they're not necessarily in that order. But Brendan Bates, Carson Ryan's going to be a bit of a development product. But I'd really, and Josh and I have talked this before, there's a couple more, I don't want to say free agents, veterans that we need on this team. I think tight end might be there. And if we could have somehow kept Njoku and had Fannin, Njoku, Royer, and Stoll, I would like that a lot better, because I feel like when we talk about the defense and they're being, heavily favored with the starters and lack of depth, tight end is that way for me. Harold Fannin Jr., while using the tight end terminology for him, he is just a weapon, and he's like a big slot. And then the blocking after that is either going to be probably Blake Whitehart or it's going to be Jack Stoll. I think we just need a little bit more athleticism there. And I think somebody might need to be brought in. But what do you think, man?
So for my tight ends, I had Fannin, Royer, and Whitehart on my prediction here for the 53. You have Stoll. I can kind of see that third one going any which direction. But the big thing that you kind of just mentioned that it triggered something for me here. I know a lot of people are going to look at the wide receiver predictions that we just made and say, well, what about Thrash or what about Larvadan or whatever? I think the last two guys that we tacked on to the wide receiver room in Tylan Wallace and Malachi Corley, their ability to contribute on special teams, like you talked about, is humongous for them because the Browns, I would imagine, view Harold Fannin in the wide receiver, spotlight. Like,
yes,
like you said,
I 100% agree with you on that.
Because at the end of your wide receiver depth chart here, you're not looking for a guy, well, who can we get out there to run these great routes and make big plays on the field? You don't care about that as much with your fifth and sixth wide receiver because you've got four top guys at wide receiver plus Harold Fannin. That's five guys. There's no room for targets for these last guys. You want to make sure they are special team savants, and that's Wallace and Corley. So I think it makes a lot of sense to go about it this way. And how the tight end thing shakes out, I'm with you. They might need to bring somebody else in. We'll have to look it up. Me and Kenny are going to do another episode here at some point during training camp talking about potential veteran options the Browns could be looking into. But this is kind of where we're standing right now on these positions.
And like that's a great point that you brought up because if you go back to, I think, Brian Storr's initial presser, I mean, flexibility, gunner, and returnability were all prerequisites to make this team. And that's, I mean, they said that. You take a look at the unrestricted draftees there, the UDFAs. They all have returnability from the receivers. So that's Cole Wilson and who's the other guy? Aaron Anderson. They're returners, right? And if they're not going to be returners, I mean, Aaron Anderson's kind of stocky, so maybe you groom him to be a gunner. But there's that's what they need. And I'm sure Carson Ryan is in the same vein, can play some special teams.
Yeah, and a lot of these guys will be on the Browns practice squad this year, so it's not like it's the last we're going to hear about these players. So, this episode is sponsored by Dash Dog Food. Browns fans, Butcher Box for Pets has rebranded to Dash Dog Food. Same great products, same great company, just a new name, a new brand, but with that comes an even better deal for you guys. Now you can get 60% off your first subscription order of the premium slow cooked nutrition dog food or the premium fresh dog food. Just go to dashdogfood.com/dogs, DAWGS, and use promo code DOGS. As you guys know, we're the dogs, but let's not kid ourselves. The most important dogs in our lives are, well, our dogs. And they're not just pets, like I said. They're part of the family. So the question is, what are you actually feeding them? At Dash Dog Food, they believe in real ingredients. Their pet foods have been developed and certified by vet nutritionists to contain 0 artificial flavors or preservatives. You get protein-packed formula that includes pre- and postbiotics to support your dog's vitality and their digestion. And speaking of the benefits of Dash Dog Food, Dash delivers their high-quality food right to your door. So just choose the delivery schedule you need for your dog, and you can change, modify, or pause your plan at any time. So try it out today. Your dog will love you for upgrading their meal times. dashdogfood.com/dogs and use promo code DOGS to get 60, not 50, but now 60% off your first subscription order of the premium slow cooked nutrition fresh dog food or the premium fresh dog food. Minimum purchase of $34, 60% discount applies to subscription orders only, 1 use per customer, cancel at any time. All right, let's kick it to the last position here on offense and talk about the O-line. So I think I can save us a little time, Kenny. Obviously, we're both going to have Spencer Fano, Titus Howard, the Elton Jenkins. Who am I missing as far as the fourth starter there?
Zion Johnson?
Yes.
Yeah.
Zion Johnson. And then I think you probably have Tevin Jenkins.
That's correct.
DeJuan Jones.
Yep.
Austin Barber.
Yep.
Parker Brailsford.
Yep.
Okay. So go from there.
And then I got KT Leviston, man. The guy's 6'4", 335 pounds, 34, and an 1/8 arm inch, man. Like arms, that's awesome. Started at right tackle. I am putting him at right guard, and I want him to play guard. And you guys know that by the last 3 episodes. I have him there. He's got the size advantage. That's what I'd like to see. You got him too, right?
Yes, I do. So that is, I believe, 8 offensive linemen. No, that's 9 guys right there. So
yes.
How many did you have on the O-line?
So, I have 9. That's it.
That's it? Okay. Yeah. I actually had 11. So I've also got Zach Zinter and Luke Whippler making the roster.
Yeah, I don't see Zinter making it. I just hasn't really done anything, doesn't have the tape. The only thing is that everybody's got a fresh start, right? And getting a fresh start with somebody like George Warhop, maybe something takes on. I just would have to see more by the end of training camp. That's all I would say on him.
So the reason I have Zinter, one, he was a 3rd-round pick. Andrew Berry's gotten more willing to part ways with draft picks over the last few years, regardless of the capital invested, which is why I think Dylan Gabriel's probably gone. But I do think that Zach Zinter was talent-wise worthy of a 3rd-round pick. I don't look back and say that was a reach or a bad pick. It just, the development has not happened. It hasn't been there. He was running with the second team yesterday on the first day of camp. So clearly they're still giving him opportunities, and I see a path where he still makes the roster this season, but I could also see it go your way as well.
Yeah, that's great, man. Second team reps. I had no idea. I did not notice that. That's worthy of maybe there is some kind of ascension that we haven't noticed as far as mini camps and that kind of stuff that's happened. So let's see what he's got.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So I think the second team line yesterday, if I remember correctly from what I was reading, was Spencer Fano at left tackle. Right guard was Zach Zinter. Your center was Brailsford. Your left guard was Leviston. And then your right tackle was Austin Barber.
Oh, Leviston was the left guard.
Did I say left? I'm sorry, right guard. Sorry.
Oh, great. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense to me.
Yeah, forget. Yeah, Zinter at left, Leviston at right.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, gotcha.
All right, so let's switch it over here. Defensive side of the ball. Let's start with the defensive line. Obviously, we're going to both have Jared Verse, Mason Graham, Malik Collins, Mike Hall Jr., we've got Alex Wright, Isaiah McGuire. Who do you have after that?
Well, you know what? This one didn't copyright, so I will have to. Okay, so we got the starting 5. That's easy. Based on what we have now, I have Isaiah McGuire backing up Alex Wright. I have Kalea Davis backing up Malik Collins. Obviously, Mike Hall Jr., he's going to back up Mason Graham for me. And then I have Logan Fano backing up Jared Verse, and that's what I have. Oh, sorry, my bad. I also have Aiden Huntington there, and I think he'll play a little bit of fullback too. So there you go.
Oh, well, cool. I always love seeing them big beefy boys in that fullback role, man. I got to tell you. So yeah, for me, D-line, I had 10 guys here as well on this side of the ball. Verse, Graham, Collins, Hall, Wright, McGuire, just like you said. I also have Kalea Davis on the interior, Aiden Huntington. I've got Sam Kamara as well. He's just that.
They seem to love him, man. They seem
and
to
he
love
can
him
play.
for sure.
He can play, inside, outside. He can kind of bounce around. He's got some versatility. He's been around for a few years. They like him. And then I did have Logan Fano as well, making the initial 53, but changed it right before we did this episode to Jadeveon Clowney. I'm going to make my prediction that the Browns do sign Jadeveon Clowney. Logan Fano ends up getting moved to the practice squad, but could, injuries and things could end up being called up.
So I was saying when you asked me for my line that I couldn't find it, I actually cut it out and I did not paste back Jadeveon Clowney.
Okay.
I was going to do that as well. I think it seems like it's something that's going to happen, especially if he wants it to happen. Barry's comfortable with him, that we should be seeing it any day now.
I agree. I think it's going to be sooner rather than later. So linebacker, how many did you keep and who were they?
Keeping for the linebackers, I'm going to keep, obviously, Schlesinger. I'm going to keep Williams, Justin Jefferson. After that, I was like, is everybody kind of just the same here? But, I mean, Boogie Watson, or Nathaniel Watson, as you guys will know him, he seems to contribute well on special teams. So does Easton. He was getting first-team reps. Is that correct?
That is correct. So I think he's going to be on the roster.
So between those 5 guys, those are the guys that I'm going to keep. I do like Winston Reed. I think he does contribute on special teams as well. He also, if I'm correct, did he not contribute as a fullback for a while as well?
I don't know for sure on that one.
It was between him and Boogie Watson. One of the 2 guys 2 years ago would have went in at fullback, and I just can't remember who it was. But I'm comfortable with that. Comfortable with those picks based on what we have in camp right now. Although I will tell you, when I say we need anywhere from 2 to 4 more veterans, I think the linebacker position definitely can sign someone. There's some pretty good linebackers out there right now. I haven't narrowed down on one. I'd even take Baker back from last year, Jerome Baker, that is, and maybe circumvent one of these other 2 guys, either Watson or Easton Mascarenas Arnold.
Yeah, one thing to keep in mind too, I'm trying to hesitate a little bit on just assuming the Browns are going to continue to use guys like Aiden Huntington or whoever in the fullback role, because that was a Kevin Stefanski offensive thing. I don't know if Todd Monken is going to do that. They went out and they signed Michael Burton specifically as a fullback. And I think, like you talked about, Carson Ryan was drafted as a tight end, but I think with some fullback maybe transition in mind. So I don't know Todd Monken's tendency to just grab defensive linemen or linebackers to put in that spot. I think he might actually want a dedicated dude.
Yeah, that's a great point. And my point is more about the versatility that they keep preaching. If somebody gets injured, maybe they're going to give, especially
jumbo
a guy like
package.
Aiden Huntington, he's going to get some. He's a big dude. He's athletic. And, by his RAS score, like Huntington specifically, he's one of the most athletic guys on the team. So you will find ways to put him on there. As far as Winston Reed, I mean, him playing fullback is probably not realistic, but the fact that he did and he can block is great for special teams.
Absolutely. So I'm keeping, in my prediction, 6 linebackers. It's Schlesinger, Quincy Williams, Justin Jefferson, like you said, Boogie Watson. I am keeping Winston Reed and Easton Mascarenas Arnold. That is a name. So we got EMW and we'll have EMA.
Yeah, you should not be allowed to hyphenate your name. You should stick to one or the other.
Unless it's
easier.
Like Smith Jones, something.
Yeah, make it
quick.
small. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, we got a couple positions left to go before we wrap it up here, guys. So defensive backfield. Who do you got?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're going to be pretty good, pretty equal on this as well. Denzel Ward is number 1. The guy freaking signs an extension, and then he gets a interception right off the bat in training camp. Like, he's worth it. Tyson Campbell, big dude. He's awesome. Miles Harden, they seem to be praising him, and he is going to be the nickel. I don't necessarily see it, but let's see what he has. As far as the rest, I really like Michael Coates Jr. Next. Then getting into the safeties, we're going to take a look at Grant Delpit. We told you they were going to re-sign him. They did. Ronnie Hickman. We've been going into Emmanuel McNeil-Warren. Those are going to be our main safeties. Daniel Thomas is going to be the 4th. He's a core special teamer. He's a huge gunner. It's going to be super important for our special teams because if anything, I know it's tough watching the offense. The special teams was just as bad to watch. And then last but not least, who else do I have here? I have Donovan McMillan making the team as well.
Okay, I think we almost have the exact same list. I think there's one guy on mine that you didn't name. So obviously a corner. I've got Denzel Ward.
No, so I did miss a corner. I missed the new guy.
Damari Mathis.
Yeah.
So we have the same. We have the same. So it's Ward, Campbell. I've got Harden, Coates, Mathis, and Thomas at the cornerback spot. And then safety, we're looking Delpit, EMW, Hickman, and McMillan.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, getting Mathis, and you get a guy that's been injured for a year. He comes in, and what does he do? Your defense creates a turnover. He goes, "Well, I'm gonna make this team. I'm going to get a interception as well, and keep getting those turnovers, and you'll make that team."
Absolutely, and then I don't think we need to go back and forth too much. Your special teamers are going to be your specialists: Andre Schmidt, kicker; Corey Bajorquez, punter; and Rex Sunahara will be your long snapper. So there's your three.
Yeah, there's no doubt there. I'm going to say, I don't know who you want for your punt returner. Kick returners will probably remain the same as last year until different. I think it was Corley and Sampson, if I'm not mistaken, last year that ended it.
Jerome
punt
Ford
returner, I like.
some.
Oh, he was there last year, right? So obviously our punt returner is going to be Concepcion, right?
I think so. I think that he'll have an opportunity. Now, again, you don't always necessarily want, if he's going to ascend and be like a top receiver for your offense, probably don't want him back there returning punts all the time. There will be other punt returners, and we've got them. We've got other guys on this team that can return punts as well. I'm not too worried about that, but I think now we'll see how the actual initial 53 shakes out, and I'm excited to go through that episode when they announce it and kind of compare and contrast to what we predicted here. But we were pretty much lockstep on this. A couple things here and there on the back end of some positions.
Yeah, I think it's pretty locked down on the base on what we know right now. Obviously, we're going to go through training camp. We're going to go through preseason. And maybe there's a couple guys on the back end of the roster that are going to flash, or maybe there's just one second teamer that's just going to flash and they're going to get first string reps and they're going to become the starter for the season. But other than that, I think we know where the deficiencies are. I think you and I know where we want to kind of put a show together where we're going to say, here's a guy for this room as a backup that we need. We mentioned tight end, we need a linebacker, we need a defensive tackle, man. And I'd say defensive end, but we're kind of alluding to Clowney at this point right now. But there's definitely always players to be had and making the team better.
For sure, man. So appreciate everybody tuning in. Let us know what you guys think about these predictions for the final. I keep saying final. There is no such thing as a final 53. It is always changing. But the initial 53 after roster cut downs at the end of August, I believe, right? Because they moved it up a week, didn't they? Right.
It's like the cut downs are literally like right after the last game.
Yeah. Yeah. There's no time to really sit back and evaluate too much. It's your decisions are going to have to be made.
Yeah.
So that'll be coming quick, guys. Football season is here. Once training camp starts, it flies. It flies. There's going to be a Hall of Fame game next week, and then it's preseason games. And then before you know it, I mean, it's going to be regular season kickoff week 1. So get ready, get locked in, and stay tuned to the podcast here, to the social media feeds for updates on training camp and roster battles and all the stuff that's happening right now. Again, almost last call, guys. Fantasy football, if you want to play in one of our fantasy leagues this season, head to jointhedogs.com. Sign up, become an official Dog Pack member. What's that?
Crazy. It's almost August, man. I can't believe this. I can't believe that it's gone this fast. It's wild.
Yeah, like a month from now, we will be having our fantasy drafts for the leagues. So again, and if you guys have already signed up out there and you're waiting for an email, you haven't missed anything. I haven't sent them out yet. We got to sit down. I got to coordinate the leagues, organize everything. You will be getting an email with an invite. We play on Sleeper. It's the only place to play. If you guys are still on ESPN or Yahoo, come on. Upgrade your fantasy game. Man.
Yeah, 100%.
Upgrade your fantasy game.
100%.
So we play on Sleeper. You will get an invite to your league to join within the next 2 to 3 weeks. So just stay tuned to your emails for those. They will be coming. But I appreciate everybody who's already signed up. JoinTheDogs.com. Kenny, thanks for joining me out there in the wilderness. I hope you have a great weekend, a great time.
Maxing and relaxing, man. I can't wait. It's good.
I like that. All right, man. Well, we'll see you next week at some point, and we'll see everybody else in the next episode. Let's go Browns.
Go, baby.
It's in our blood, it's in our bones, orange and brown, yeah, we ride for our own like a dog pack running. We ain't alone, game day comes, get ready for the show. It's our call, it's our bark, it's our song. We stand tall, yeah, we've been here all along. Through it all, the dog pound standing strong. We all dogs, yeah, we all dogs. Thanks for listening to another episode of the Dogs Podcast. Follow us on social media at the Dogs Podcast. And join our dog pack community at jointhedogs.com. We are dogs!
This episode is sponsored by ISSA. Browns fans, if you're into health and fitness, have you ever wondered how you could maybe turn those hobbies and your passion into an actual career? If that sounds interesting to you, then ISSA has the opportunity you've been looking for. ISSA is the International Sports Science Association, and they can help you become a certified personal trainer in as little as 3 months. And right now you can get $100 off your certification when you sign up through our link, joinissa.com/dogs, DAWGS. Now, certifications are 100% online, self-study, and self-paced. You can study anywhere from your phone, tablet, or computer. And the final exam is open note, open book, aka piece of cake. Except you fitness nuts probably don't eat a ton of cake, so let's just call it a piece of delicious protein bar. And ISSA has the #1 job guarantee in the industry. If you get certified and sign up to be a certified trainer with ISSA, you have a job guarantee or your money back. ISSA has over 10,000 gym partners that have over 73,000 open jobs for trainers right now. And you don't need a 4-year degree or a 2-year degree. You just need your certification to qualify for these jobs. So what are you waiting for? With certification this simple, there's no excuse not to pursue your passion and become a certified personal trainer today. Get $100 off your certification at joinissa.com/dogs. You've wanted to make a change long enough. Now it's time to do something about it. That's joinissa.com/dogs for $100 off your personal trainer certification.
Most people don't realize how much their personal information is being bought and sold every day. Data brokers are making billions, pulling details about you from public records and the internet, and then packaging and selling it, usually without your consent. That's how your information lands in the hands of scammers, spammers, even stalkers. It's why you get endless robocalls and why ads seem to follow you everywhere. That's where Aura comes in. Aura actively removes your data from broker sites and keeps it off. They also instantly alert you if your information shows up in a breach or on the dark web. But Aura goes beyond data protection. With one app, you get a VPN, antivirus, password manager, spam call protection, dark web monitoring, and even up to $5 million in identity theft insurance, all backed by 24/7 US-based fraud support. Other companies might sell just credit monitoring or just a VPN. Aura gives you all of it, together, at the same price competitors charge for just one service. Start your free trial today at aura.com/remove. Protect yourself now at aura.com/remove.